From the new recording lair located deep beneath the Wine and Spirit store in Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the Masonic Light Podcast.
Studio 665 presents Masonic Light Podcast. This show is recorded by Masons, for Masons, and is for entertainment purposes only. And please, no wagering.
This podcast is not endorsed by any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous ramblings of the hosts are their own. And now, here's your host.
Hey, everybody! Yay! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Masonic Light Podcast.
Hello.
Episode number, wait for it, 163.
163.
I can't believe we've been doing it this long. I can't believe I've been doing it this
Yeah,
long.
you've been doing it that
Yeah, there was an over-under on you for a
Yeah, I
while.
think we hit the over a long time ago.
Was it 7 years? Is that right? 6 or 7?
Jeez,
15
I
on
don't
94
know.
planets and whatever.
Yeah.
I've aged significantly over that period of time, just so you know.
Hey, your voice is better.
Is it?
Yeah,
probably
Turkey
that-
Hill iced tea, folks.
Probably that new
Turkey
lozenges
Hill
he's been
iced
using.
tea.
that's it. All right, so tonight's episode is brought to you by our sponsors, whom we love.
Who are they?
George J. Grove and Son.
Yay.
And Hiram Solomon Cigars, who we still need to hear from.
Yes.
Scott Helm Electric,
Yes.
Masonic Timepiece,
Oh.
and our favorite chocolatier,
Chocolate.
Who would that be?
Intermezzo by Stephanie. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, oh man, come on now. Jeez.
Our first edit of the night.
There you go. Also by our really favorite supporters, our Patreon supporters.
Gosh, yes.
Yes, we love our Patreon
We
supporters.
do. And you know what, Jack?
What, Larry?
I'm not lying.
Hey,
It's going to be one of those shows.
don't confuse me, please.
Larry thought he was talking for a minute.
Those who are...
What did I say?
What did I do in the past 2 weeks? Oh, jeez.
If you're listening to this episode, why?
It's going to be a mess, people.
Gonna be
Hang
a
on.
mess. Yeah, just hang
Strap
on.
in and
buckle
hang
up.
on.
You too can be a Patreon supporter for as little as $1.
$1. What can you do with $1?
You can support this podcast.
You can. And that's all you need to do.
Yeah, just $1 a month. Go to patreon.com/Masonic Light Podcast.
And we sincerely do appreciate all of the people.
We
who
truly
contribute to
do.
the show.
We truly do.
There's behind the scenes expenses, and we did them. We paid them out of pocket for a long time, and then
but our microphones have gotten better. Our sound equipment's gotten better. Our portable equipment is amazing as long as we remember to press record.
push the button. Oh my!
Check
God.
the timer. Make sure it's actually rolling.
Yeah.
So quickly, you can also email us at MasonicLightPodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Masonic Light Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Masonic Light. Also on that other thing, Threads.
That X thing.
Same thing. No,
Threads, X, whatever.
actually, Twitter is now X. Anyway, both of those things, Masonic Light, and of course our website, MasonicLight.com.
Did y'all write that down?
Yeah, there we go.
If you didn't write it down,
Hit
go
rewind.
to the website.
Go back 15 seconds, and you can
There you go.
hear it again.
Reverse.
So this is where we would normally introduce our guest tonight.
Hello, guest.
And I would normally-
let's introduce our guest tonight.
Yeah.
Our
Tonight-
guest is
It's great to be here.
He ruined it.
every time.
He
Every
ruined it.
time. Never mind.
Okay, who was
Proceed without the joke.
Okay.
it? Oh, I thought I was the joke.
No.
I'm sorry.
So hello, Tim Settlemeyer, wherever you are. We had a guest lined up, and under the category of stuff happens, we don't have a guest tonight. So anyway, you get to hear us again, which is great because we have a lot of fun doing this. So let's go around the horn and find out what in God's creation have we been doing for the last couple of weeks since our last recording, which was actually at Lodge of the Woods. Jack.
We had really good knives at Lodge in the Woods.
Yes, they were amazing knives.
You could whittle with those knives. They were so good cutting through that steak. It was
You know,
amazing.
and
They were the best knives I used
They were
all day.
amazing knives.
Those knives were incredible. Were they?
Yeah.
Josh, did you have a knife?
I did not.
Oh,
I just
you
used
didn't.
my teeth.
You came in late. That's right. You just ripped it off like a caveman.
Yep.
Nice. So since last we met at Loch in the Woods, I had a stated meeting. We having about Zorn Wars upstairs.
I think someone's breaking out of prison up there.
Somebody's opening a case in the
Right.
liquor store. I had stated meeting, and we had a nice stated meeting. We had our memorial service, and that's something I hope that we talk about as we're.
Let's
going
do that
around the
when we
horn.
come back. Yeah.
But we had a very nice memorial service where we honored the guys who had left us since last October. Then I went and spoke at before that, I went and spoke at the Day Lodge, and I gave my
The what?
Holy Saints John talk, the Elizabethtown Day Lodge.
Okay, cool.
And that was very interesting. There was about 45 guys or so. It gives me a different perspective on business casual at Lodge. I've kind of rethought my position since the tie thing was dropped back a long time ago in 2010, I guess 9 or 10, 9, I guess it was, or 10.
Whenever Sturgeon
Anyway,
was in.
it was Grandmaster Sturgeon's year, and he relaxed the dress code, and everybody went berserk.
Yeah.
And I think the reason it works for me now is that there's a whole generation that has passed, and I've been at 3 funerals in the last 2 months, and nobody in the room had a tie on. There's no. Now, that doesn't mean you dress like a pig farmer. Not that pig farmers are, dressed badly or anything. But I think if we went to something like sport coat and collared shirt, I think that would be okay. Because I think times have changed enough now, and those 80 and 90-year-old members have passed along. So anyway, that works for me now. Larry's going to say
He's
something.
having a hemorrhage over here.
No, I want to say that
See the veins in his
Okay,
forehead.
right.
that has been going on in Tall Cedars now, and that is now effectively the way we're going to do things. We're getting away from having to wear tuxes. We're going to go with a sport coat, open collar shirt, or tie if you want to wear it, and slacks. In other words, more business casual.
I think, and not that we want to get into a topic here because we're going around the horn, but let's get back to that. Let's
That's a
stick
good
a pin
idea.
in that. Let's
Good
get back to
idea.
that.
Yeah,
I
good
have
idea.
comments as well.
I have, but the presentation at Elizabethtown Day Lodge went really well, and it was a very receptive audience, and their ritual work was fine. Their attendance was great. The lunch was amazing. So kudos to them. They're doing a great job. They already have money in the bank, and that looks like that experiment is going to be a success. So, yeah, and then this. So I had Monday, I had education. Tuesday, I had Day Lodge and stated meeting. Wednesday, I got podcast. Thursday, I got an extra meeting. I think I have 15 minutes to myself on Friday. And then Grotto is it Grotto on Sunday? Do we have Grotto on Sunday? 22nd, right? We have Grotto.
I thought you weren't there.
If it's a
Grotto is the 22nd.
Okay, so that's when we have Grotto.
That's a Sunday a week from
That's
now.
Sunday a week, yeah. So, yeah. So, no, I just very, very busy Masonic week. My wife misses me dreadfully.
Larry,
Well,
can we guess? Can
yeah,
we guess?
you
Jack, guess one.
Let's see. Goose and Gridiron.
Okay, that's it. Josh?
He did not attend lodge meeting.
Okay. And I'm going to say that he did something with Tall Cedars.
no, I didn't make that.
Oh, okay.
I was in quarantine.
Okay. Oh, that's
So I
right.
couldn't- yeah, it was
That's
junior
right.
senior night. Great attendance and was good guests. I mean, it was really good.
Okay.
But I wasn't there.
Okay. Did any of them have pot pie?
No,
Okay.
I have no idea what they even had in the menu. I've been out of things for 3 weeks, so I haven't done anything with anybody anywhere.
Yeah, Larry did get COVID, so that's.
You say I got it, but I tested negative. But you said I got it. So
I think, I think you had it and were a false negative.
that could
You
be.
were sicker than a dog when we tried to get you that night.
Oh yeah, I was a mess.
Yeah,
But not anymore.
but not anymore.
Not
He's better.
anymore. No.
We're happy to have you.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
Lost my voice, and it's
It's coming back. Like
gradually coming back.
It's
Drink
it's
some
a
more.
Masonic light miracle.
Drink
Yeah.
some more tea.
As was it No, Seth. Was it Seth or Tom LeBois? Said my voice sounds like Andy Devine. For those of you who were born in the
Seth.
40s and 50s, Andy Devine was a character that played in Wild Bill Hickok on television. He was Jingles.
Yep.
I'm Jingles too.
Jingles.
I'm sorry.
I thought he meant Divine the stripper.
If you really want to go back, if you saw the movie Stagecoach with John Wayne, Andy Devine was in that. He was a stagecoach driver. And that was 1939.
Okay, this is an indication of the episode you're listening to.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
Josh.
I'd like to apologize in advance.
Yeah.
I planned to go to 2 separate events, and then ended up getting stuck at work.
And you did double duty.
Double duty.
Since we recorded.
Yeah.
I said duty.
Duty.
Since Lodge in the Woods.
Yep. I did double duty.
You did.
Yeah.
What?
You didn't get the lodge?
No.
Okay.
You talking about the re-edit that he had to do? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was momentarily feeling bad because I
So-
thought you made it and I didn't.
I think we
No.
alluded to this on the Lodge in the Woods episode, but just in case we didn't, I'll take a moment of confession time here.
Way to go.
Yeah. So we record this like 3 weeks ago, and we're so excited because we've got all these interviews that people are coming over to the tent. And the interesting thing was, and Jack, you may have not observed this because you were really engaged with lots of stuff that night. You were
busy day.
You were busy. But the Masonic Light podcast tent was literally the center of activity prior to the dinner. We had lots of guys standing around smoking. We had guys coming over to listen to the interviews. It was really a cool event. And we got to interview lots of really cool people. And one of them in particular, I get a phone call from Josh on Sunday morning, just before the podcast is supposed to come out on Monday, saying, Houston, we have a problem. That interview you thought you did with the Grandmaster didn't happen. Well, it did, but we didn't get it. And so, as I indicated on our last episode, I pushed the button, but I didn't make sure the clock was running. So thank you again to Grandmaster Wonderling for jumping on that Zoom call with us.
He was very gracious.
Complete that. He was very gracious. We had a great time.
Sorry, my sound level was terrible on that. I listened to it, and it was awful.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we didn't have these mics that we...
No, I was recording on my PC, and
There you
it just
go.
wasn't there.
So,
I'm so ashamed.
So there was that. On the 23rd of September, which was the Friday after that. It was okay. So right after Lodge in the Woods, I did a secretary's training. That was really amazing. It was when they told me how many people were going to be there, I got really nervous.
Cool.
It was a combined secretary and treasurer's training for districts 5, 6, 8, B, and C. And if you're not familiar with the way districts are lettered and numbered around Pennsylvania, the lettered numbers are kind of around Philly.
Right.
But there were probably close to 100 and some people in that room
Awesome.
going through training. And it actually was an amazing training. The guys were very gracious, some great questions. And so I always enjoy doing those. It's a lot of fun. The next night went to Uber Grotto. Had a good time there. If you're in Grotto, you need to come back. You need to get back out there and get involved. Larry, that includes you.
I am.
I know you were sick. We had an AMD meeting. Lucius Caritas, chapter of AMD met, and we had some amazing food, and heard a great paper from our good buddy Andy Hess over in Gettysburg. And then the following night, the 167th annual banquet of Eureka West Shore Lodge number 302 was held.
That's a lot of
And
banquets.
that was a lot of banquets. 2 nights later on that Monday, we had our October stated meeting, and since then, I've been like on withdrawal. I'm going to talk about one of the projects that I've been working on a little later, but suffice it to say, it's been a busy, busy time.
All right.
All right, Larry's making faces here. I think we need to take a break and
We'll share with you why he's making faces.
get some more
Well,
iced
I
tea.
got a picture through our messenger site.
Talking to the mic.
A picture from Josh just sent me from the messenger site.
Let the record show
You're-
he's holding the phone up to the microphone.
I
So
see that.
Yeah. There it is.
I saw it. I got it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I started falling asleep, but that's
It's that blood pressure medicine.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
See ya.
Why choose George J. Grove & Sons for your next home improvement project? At George J. Grove & Sons, we've built our reputation on quality and trust for more than 50 years. From planning to materials to installation, George J. Grove promises a home improvement experience second to none. Whether your goal is reducing energy costs, decreasing maintenance, updating curb appeal, or simply increasing the value of your home, the George J. Grove team will recommend and provide solutions that stand the test of time. Call 717-393-0859 for an estimate or visit us at georgejgrove.com.
And we're back.
The first version was better.
That's funny for reasons you will never understand.
Right.
Anyway, we're back. We are back, really. And I started talking about the funeral service or the memorial service that we had at our lodge at our stated meeting. And I don't know if your lodges do a memorial service annually, but in other jurisdictions, it's sometimes called a Lodge of Sorrows, where you remember the brothers that have passed in the previous year. And I've seen it done in Maryland. They have a beautiful service at our sister lodge down there at Amicable St. John's. We have one that we've been doing in our lodge for a number of years. It's sort of a pretty common. That's really loud, Josh. It's amazing.
We should actually make a sound effect of that. That's actually pretty amazing.
You know what that sound effect is? That sound effect is the alien spaceships opening in War of the Worlds.
Yes, totally.
Yes. It was a peanut.
Hang on, don't put the spaceship back together.
It was
yet.
a peanut butter. No, it was a jar of peanut butter in a commode in the recording studio at RCA.
Really? Well, they could have used this thing for it because I thought.
Wow,
the
is that
first time
loud.
I heard that, I thought, oh my God, this is War of the Worlds. But we digress.
But anyway, all right. So talking about the memorial service, it's just something that we've done since I've been a member. These 18 years, but it's been it's just nice to reach back. But one thing that is literally a something to notice. Last year, we had 21 candles on the table. Whoa. We nearly set off the smoke alarm. Right? We had 21 deceased brethren last year at our table. This year there were 8.
Wow. You know, I have seen this done in other lodges around here even. It's not a practice that my lodge has done, but every time I see it, I keep saying I want to go back and get somebody to do this because I think it's really powerful.
It's nice.
The problem is we would definitely set off the smoke detector because we've in the last 11 years we've averaged 27 deaths a year.
Yeah. You have to use fake candles.
Yeah, we'd have to be like standing by with a fire extinguisher. Yeah.
But it just brings to mind, and it's kind of we rolled it into a rehearsal for the Masonic education was the funeral service, and I'm sure that other jurisdictions have a similar funeral service for their departed brethren. But we had that became the Masonic education for the night, so we kind of did an in-lodge rehearsal for the next time that has to happen. So it's just it's something that I don't know. It's our public presentation, right? I mean, it's one of the few things that we do in public, and it's really moving when it's done right.
Yes.
It's really embarrassing when it's hacked
Or when it's red.
I'm less not okay. Is that a thing? Less not okay? I'm less not okay with reading it than I am with hacking it. I would rather have it read well than hacked.
I'd actually rather not have either, but
Well, obviously that's the preference, is
Right.
it should be committed to memory, but
right. It's not that long.
it's not, and it's really. I mean, it's smooth. It just flows if you commit the time to learn it. But
And it's a beautiful ceremony.
it is. It's gorgeous. There's some beautiful poetry, some lovely images that just, and it's only what 4 minutes long, all in all.
Yeah.
And it just means so much. But one of the things that was said at the end of the education part of it was, brethren, if you want a Masonic funeral
Yes.
when you're gone,
Yes.
you have to tell your family. If you put it in the will, it'll be over before it starts.
Right.
So you have to tell your family and your lodge that that's what you want. And but most important is your family, because ultimately, when the time comes, they control what happens.
And not just a spouse or whomever, but lots of people in your
Yeah.
family, because they may not be there at that time.
Right.
My daughter, my 17-year-old daughter, oh my God, she's 17. She knows that when my time comes, she can decide any other parts of the funeral, whatever she wants or needs or whatever. But Daddy wants a Masonic service by his lodge.
Don't bang on the table.
Sorry, I was pulling a Larry there.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah. No, that's it is important,
Yes.
and I would say I look forward to it, but I won't be there. But it's something that's really meaningful, and it's a really nice way to put the fraternity out in front of people that aren't otherwise familiar with it. Yeah.
We're very fortunate that we have. I'm sorry, Larry, I didn't cut you off. We're very fortunate in that we have probably, I want to say 6 or 7 past masters that all know the master's part of that funeral service well enough to do a service. And then we have an entire team of people who have said, if it's a daytime funeral, I will come. If it's an evening funeral or ceremony for us, I will come. So, and then one of our past masters has taken it upon himself to offer to the worshipful master each year, I will help you by coordinating this. And
That's great.
Everyone has agreed, obviously with that, which is great, because as secretary, I frequently get the call, but then I can immediately call this past master,
Immediate past master, and
say, hey, here we go.
Good for him to have a role too.
And then the worshipful master can say, thank you. And he frequently takes part in the ceremony in one role or another. But it's a great way to lift the burden from a worshipful master that way.
I'm
Larry.
curious how many other jurisdictions do it.
Yeah.
You want me to talk now?
Well,
whatever,
you
I
look
cut
like
you
you were drawing breath.
I'm
so.
hearing this discussion, and I like everything that we do because it is absolutely beautiful. But I'm going to be 80 in 6 months, and I don't. Oh, jeez.
So does Carol know that you want a Masonic service?
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
Does your daughter?
yeah, they should.
We're going to have it at
It's written
Fuddruckers,
down.
though.
It's in my instructions. Carol knows. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm not looking into the microphone. Yeah, of course. 50 years next year.
Wow.
So,
Very good, Larry.
yeah.
Then we can hawk your pin.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think we've all lost brothers who we liked and who we were probably close to in the past year or two. So it's at my age it's harder.
I know.
And the other thing that frequently comes up, not a lot, maybe not frequently is not the good word, but occasionally, where the lodge knows and maybe some family know, but because of some reason or another, someone in the family objects to it, and so you end up not doing it. And so the thing you always have to remember is this the family's decision at the end of the day.
Oh, at the end of the day, sure. Absolutely.
So I've seen some people, in my opinion, go a little too far in saying, yeah, but this is what he wanted, and we really don't have that right. at that time to say that. So.
You're correct. And the one thing that I would say, and I've been to a number of them, fewer than some, more than others, but one of the things that is on my mind after we do it, after we go in and we have this very solemn, very elegant service, we walk out, go out to the room wherever it was that we were repairing, and we start backslapping and hee-hawing and making jokes and being loud while they're still in the room, while the family is still there, and that's one of my buttons that we have to be respectful after.
Be solemn throughout.
Yeah, absolutely.
I, being a Mason raised in South Carolina, and I was chaplain of the lodge for a year, we did Masonic funerals at the gravesite. And we were in our regalia, our jewels, our white gloves. It was a beautiful sight to see. I, as chaplain, held a purple pillow with the Bible open on it. My prayer was in there so I could switch it out so I could say it, because I could not memorize. The funeral prayer was just too much. And it was magnificent. And the stewards and the deacons went over the casket and did the
with the wands
swords
and
the wands. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I'll never forget that. And I thought, we don't do many gravesides. We mostly do a lot of inside work, but they're beautiful nevertheless, really.
When my father passed in 2007, I got to participate in 2 Masonic services for him. One, his lodge in Florida, where he lived when he passed. But then we sent the body back to Kentucky, where he was originally from and where his mother lodge was. And I actually remember a bunch of those guys from when I was a kid. And we would go to pancake breakfasts and all kinds of stuff like that. Actually became best friends with a couple of their kids. And it was really meaningful as a new Mason at that time to say, hey, would you like to participate in your dad's service?
Sure.
And, I mean, it was powerful.
Very cool. Okay.
All right.
So, anybody got a joke to end that session with?
Yeah, let's not do it on a joke.
No joke? Okay.
All right.
No joke. But seriously, if you're in the line, learn this work. It's beautiful work, and it may be the most important thing you do in your Masonic career if you make it to the East to preside over these memorial services. So, anyway.
Makes me sad.
Yeah. Well, I think, Jack, something you said that I think is very important. It's one of the few things we do publicly.
Yeah.
And we owe it to that brother, to that brother's family, and to the people that he knew. And we owe it to our fraternity to do that well.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so
you want to take a quick break and squeeze one in here?
I think I need to go cry.
Yeah.
And then we can come back.
Let's do that.
All
right. We'll be right back. As far back as the mid-1800s, records exist describing the pre-meeting tradition of brethren smoking cigars during and after gatherings. To this day, the practice of smoking cigars remains very much alive in many lodges. This custom is considered a time for brethren to relax, exchange ideas, and enjoy the simplicity and fellowship that is the very essence of our brotherhood. This is what Hiram Solomon Cigars is all about. Our starting principles are to bring Masonic brethren together in the harmony of a good cigar. Pull up a chair, sit back, light up any of our premium cigars, and enjoy the history. Hiram Solomon Cigars can be found at fine cigar retailers. For a complete list, visit HiramSolomonCigars.com or check them out on social media to find out when they'll be at a live event near you. Hiram Solomon Cigars is pleased to be the official cigar of the Masonic Light Podcast. And we're back.
What?
Again.
Are we? Are we?
Deja vu all over.
Metaphysically speaking,
are we
back?
Really back? So I know you've heard us say this numerous times that some of our best content ends up during our breaks.
Yes.
And in order to avoid that, we came back quickly.
And yet we weren't here.
But now we are. So in the first segment, Jack. Yeah, you're Jack.
That would be me.
Well,
See how easy that is,
yeah,
Grandpa?
exactly.
All right. I get it now.
Jack mentioned comments about the dress code. And our buddy Josh said,
I got something to say about
I will here remark, however, that I have something to say. So, Josh,
Let us talk about dress code.
let us talk about dress codes. What do you think about them?
Okay, so for business meeting, for stated meeting, I think relaxed dress code would be okay.
Okay.
I think
In the
for-
audience. Officers
audience,
still in
yeah,
tuxedos,
officers still
right?
in tuxedos,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we all agree that.
We're good here.
Yeah. But for degree night, coat and tie. No relaxed.
Spiff
dress.
up a little for
Yeah.
that?
I kind of like that.
I don't mind that.
I kind of like
I-
that.
yeah.
I think we can have a consensus here.
It's not like you'd cut down the number of people coming out for the degrees.
right.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. I
Larry,
like that.
are you going to join
Thoughts,
the
Larry?
majority, or are you going to?
I'm for that. I like that idea, and I think I don't know if I already said this, but we were talking at dinner tonight, and here too before I think we recorded that we in Tall Cedars, whenever we had our regular meeting, the officers wore tux and jewels and all the paraphernalia, and Supreme is changing its attitude on that, as well as the forests throughout Pennsylvania. And we're going to go with a more relaxed dress code. A sport coat, open collar shirt, and casual slacks.
I thought they were doing the hazmat suits with the little booties on them.
Yeah.
Are they not?
No. No. Hey, the hat is bad enough. That's just not going there.
Let's talk about that hat. No, let's not talk about that.
So the thing I fear about our discussion on this is I've had actually conversations with past Grandmaster Sturgeon about the various changes that he offered during his term as Grandmaster. And he probably more than certainly any Grandmaster in recent time made some significant changes from creating the books to changing the dress code to dealing with the black balls to doing a whole bunch of stuff. And his comment to me was, all of those other things were significant, but the one I took the most crap for was changing the dress code. And what I worry about is that because of that, Grandmasters in the future will be less likely to consider it after seeing.
And let us not mistake this
Yes.
for let's start a mission to change the dress. That's not our point here.
We're just offering
talking
opinions here.
We're just talking, and it's just us, and it doesn't really matter long term. But but I can see where we tried that once and it didn't work. And
that guy got scars over that.
That's how to stop progress in anything.
Exactly. So
I would add that I would probably still wear a coat and tie, even if it was relaxed.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you not?
I'm thinking back to that time. I was actually in the line, so I wouldn't have had an opportunity to not be in a tux. So
I don't mind relaxing it to this level, and that is sport coat and collared shirt and khakis or whatever. No jeans if you can not have jeans.
Well, I think.
But yeah, I think there's something about the jacket that elevates you enough to know that you're stepping out. You're doing a thing that you're a level up.
I think part of the stigma, though, is the fact that when we talk about a relaxed code like this, we see what's going on in society today. Have you gone to church lately? When I went to church years ago, it was a coat and tie. You go now, and it could be jeans, it could be a pullover, it could be a sweatshirt. It doesn't matter anymore.
Could be
And I
pool
see
wear.
that change.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know. It's hard to accept that. And I'd be inclined to go along with Josh. I'd probably still continue to wear a coat and tie.
I would wear the coat,
But
not the tie.
I like the fact that I have an option to do that, especially in the summer, in the warm months before we. In South Carolina, we would say go dark. Up here,
we don't go dark.
No, we don't go dark in Pennsylvania.
There's no
we don't.
turning in of
No,
warrants.
it's okay. Remember, I'm from a different generation in a different state, so sorry.
That's all right.
Go dark.
A state in which what is the dress code to lodge today?
Okay, that's a good question because when I was raised, it was coat and tie.
Back in
It
my
was
day.
coat and tie. But I kept in touch through Facebook and
Yeah,
social
what is
media.
it? What is it now?
Right now, it's kind of relaxed casual.
Cutoffs and boots and.
I've seen it, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen the Grand Lodge go from that,
beater tees.
from coat and tie and suits to tuxes, white gloves, jewels. And I'm seeing
Belly
the
shirts.
lodges down there. No lodges down there, no officers wore tuxes. It was coat and tie.
Yeah.
That's changing. So they're coming from an area where they had that very relaxed, I think, thing. Now, not changing.
That's all right.
Coming back.
But 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I guess it was, visiting the lodge that my dad was a member of in Florida. I mean, they wore shorts and they wore, what we would call Hawaiian shirts.
South
Yeah,
and Southwest, Texas. Go to Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and God forbid you go to West Virginia. I love our brethren in West Virginia. But seriously, I've traveled literally all over the country to various lodges, and the dress code is all over the place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It really is.
And everybody throws up, it's not the outward appearance, which,
Freemasons
we're supposed to pay
are-
attention to. And
Yep.
you're right, it's not. But there is something about being just a click better than the common,
Yes.
right? It's just a click. You don't have to overwhelm them with your formality. But I don't know.
So I wonder what George Washington wore to lodge.
Coat and tie.
whatever it was uncomfortable because
Yeah.
everything they wore back then was
Yeah, exactly.
But I just when it first happened back in 2010, I was a huge opponent to any of that change. I was vocal about it, and anyway. But that's one point I'm softening on. I still don't. The blackball thing still is a problem for me.
Me too.
But the dress code, I objected to it then, and I think I was right because there were enough older fellas that really respected the dress code. But the fact, you go to the candles on the memorial service table, right? You go from 21 last year to 8 this year. That bubble we're at the very tail end of that bubble, and I think
Let's
it's
put a pin and see what you are next year.
that's fine.
I would no, seriously. I mean,
Yeah, no, I because I'll tell you, because most of them are gone.
right.
Are we back on that again?
No, we're not. Tim did it. Larry's having a connection.
No, I mean, I just think we've still got significant number of seasoned folks that have a way and tradition of doing
like
lodge.
firewood.
Seasoned folks.
How'd you like that, Larry? Did you like that? I didn't say old.
Am I seasoned?
Yeah, you're seasoned, all right. More like pickled.
But anyway, all right.
All right, so next topic.
I don't know. Did we have a next topic?
Yeah,
what was
we
our next
did.
topic? Oh, we were talking about. We were talking about dues.
Oh, we could talk
We're
about
going to
dues.
talk about dues
We can
next.
talk
Is that
about
what you were
dues.
talking about? So you want to talk about dues?
Yeah, let's talk about dues here.
Let's talk about
It's
dues.
that time of the year again.
It is.
Pay your damn dues.
Pay your damn dues as a secretary. Seriously, I think, and this is something that my lodge is actually dealing with in the moment. So, got some firsthand, knowledge on this kind of thing. For the longest time, nobody wants to pay more in anything. But the reality is everything costs more today. Everything from electricity to repair of the regalia to everything. Just everything is more expensive today than it was yesterday, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And my lodge is an example of where 11 years ago we had a merger between two lodges. The local portion of that dues did not change for those that were continuing from the Eureka side. They went up like $5 from those that came from the West Shore side. But our local dues had not changed in probably 5 years from before that. So you're now looking at, let's say, 17 years ago when the local portion of our dues changed. Now, we've had Grand Lodge increments in the interim a couple of times that have been passed on to the members. But for the lodge itself to operate in a situation where our membership is continuing to decline, we have to seriously look at the lodge growing its revenue in some way. So there are a number of ways, obviously, you can do that. The most effective way of doing that is getting more members. Okay? That's
not enough money to make a difference.
Well, so there's that.
Yeah.
We could have pancake breakfasts and make $42.19 for 6 hours of work and pat ourselves on the back because we served a lot of flapjacks. But again, that's not going to solve the problem either. We could become a lodge that simply came together and met and did not support the various charitable contributions that we've made over time, not offer the scholarships that we've offered, not supported the local scout groups when they're doing their Eagle Scout projects, et cetera, that we've done. We could definitely cut back on those things. But we're seriously looking at raising the local portion of our dues. And the interesting thing is thus far, Larry's like doing an Etch-a-Sketch with this Post-it note over here. We're seriously looking at raising our local dues. And I just think that it is important for lodges to take an honest look at where they are, frankly, from a business standpoint, if you will. We're not out to make money, but at the same time,
right. So
we can't lose money.
Every lodge is in a different position financially.
Right.
Like our lodge here in Ephrata happens to be in a very sound financial situation because of a donation to the lodge from a member who passed away. How many of our lodges are mentioning, legacy donations to their members? Like, especially since this huge population of people is at that point in their lives. Are we reaching out to them? Hey, if you would like to leave some money to our lodge, give us some direction with it. Please don't just hand us a wad of money because we'll do something stupid.
Or leave it to the lodge to decide, which is actually the better way, because we've also gotten requests from time to time where you're looking to give a scholarship to someone that's left-handed with blue eyes and brown hair, and you can't give it away. I mean, I know a couple of the Masonic groups I belong to are holding on to funds that they got 20, 30 years ago because the requirements for giving the money out were so strict.
And it's drawing interest.
It is, but they still can't give it away. The lodge can't use it.
But you have to respect that guy's...
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. That guy's whatever it was.
Absolutely. The bequest.
Bequest, that's the word. So that's one thing is I raising the dues, okay, whatever. But you have to look at it, like you said, ooh, that's way. You have to look at it as a business, and you have to look at your annual revenues and your annual expenses, and you have to make it work. And I don't think we do a good enough job training lodge management to understand what the expenses are and what the revenue streams are and what they could be and how can we do. I don't think we do enough job because that's business skills. That's training, So so you found the guy who's a great ritualist and he can memorize 10,000, 17,000 words, but he's a rotten businessman, so we have to teach him that stuff. So that's just the other
And then
side
by the time he learns it, he's gone.
About the time he gets it all figured out,
But you're right.
He's out of the East.
I've contended for years that we need to have business training for the junior and the senior deacon, junior, senior warden, and the upcoming worshipful master.
I'd go farther up the line. I'd go to the deacons and make sure that the deacons start getting that training. And
business 101.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seriously.
Absolutely. Because it is a business. I mean, yeah. Josh, you look like you're about to burst.
No, I'm just thinking about how lodge funds are used and what I've witnessed lodge funds being used for and how easily things funds get voted away.
Voted away like given out, paid out to certain things? Or
Yeah. Like, we're going to spend money on X. We're going to donate this money to this group.
Yeah.
There's no stewardship of the finances?
I
Like
think-
by the body, it's more of just a rubber stamp because
Somebody suggested
one of our
it.
brothers said X.
We should do that. Yeah.
I actually think that's a very valid point
Yeah, absolutely.
because I have witnessed that in other places. And a few worshipful masters ago, we were starting to go down that road where we were getting a brother standing up, well-intended, and making a motion to send $100 to the local Little League fundraiser or whatever. And then somebody would say, well, I think we ought to give more. Well, I think we ought to give less. Well, in my day, we only gave this amount. So you ended up with all that. So we had a meeting of the officers, the past masters, about how do we do what you're saying, which is be responsible for the lodge funds so that they're not just
The motion will be transmitted to the charity committee for their recommendation.
well-
Boom, done. Gavel out. You're over.
Well,
you
what-
haven't moved on it. You don't know.
What we did was we created something called the finance committee that was made up of the elected officers, the trustees, the almoner, and there might be another person on there. I can't remember. Anyway, when a motion is made from the floor to spend money, the worshipful master accepts the motion and turns to the treasurer and says, Brother Treasurer, is that expenditure contained in the worshipful master's budget for the current year? Because that's already been presented to the lodge and everybody kind of knows what's coming. And if the answer is yes, okay, then you proceed forward. If the answer is no, it is not, then the worshipful master says, Brethren, the vote on this motion is in effect a referral to the finance committee for further action. And then the finance committee determines whether or not it is strategic, if it's meeting with the goals of the lodge for the current year or whatever, and then they'll come back and report to the lodge at the next meeting the dispensation of that. And in effect, what it's done is it has forced people who want to make those motions to actually talk to somebody ahead of time and say, I'd like to do this. What's the best way to do this? And then you can work all of that stuff out ahead of time because the finance committee will get together from time to time. And if we know something's coming, we can proactively say, when this comes up, we're supportive of it. And we're going to use these funds to do that. And so it's cut down considerably on just the willy-nilly nature of
making motions to spend money.
making motions to spend money.
And I think we said more or less the same thing. You just have you have a
There's a
formalized
process.
structure
There's
for
a
it,
formalized structure in our lodge for
and that's not a
processing
bad
it.
thing. And it also means that when the worshipful master took the East, he had a budget.
Yes.
For a long time, 20, 30 years ago, the secretary handed the incoming worshipful master a sheet of paper that said, here's your budget.
Yeah,
And that was it. I mean, there was no deviating from the budget. And that's how it was for a very long time. I know that's how it was in my lodge.
yeah. I think it's district by district in Pennsylvania. I know the tradition in District 3 has always been that the district deputy required the master to submit something to him that had been met with the approval of the lodge or of the officers or whatever. But that also included having conversations with the secretary and treasurer about operating expense.
Right.
So you've got to cover those.
Right.
And then there's an amount that's discretionary, and then that discretionary amount, the master has some say-so
discresh.
over. Can discresh, that's right.
That's it. I didn't know that was a verb.
Yeah.
Anyway. Josh?
So I just have a question. So that procedure you have for like the finance committee or whatever, how does that come about? Like, how do you institute something?
We actually amended
bylaw?
our bylaws.
Okay.
We put it as a committee on our bylaws, which everybody and including Larry groans when you talk about changing the bylaws.
But you don't have. But you don't have to.
You don't have
because
to.
the worshipful master is the presiding officer
That is
of the
correct.
body, right?
That is correct.
And he can determine how that stuff should
That is
go.
correct.
So
that is correct.
and I think that's why we have the black ball scenario that we have, because a lot of worshipful masters don't understand how much authority they really do have.
That is correct.
In how the lodge is managed. And they can't go willy-nilly because you have a
My lodge just
deputy
chose to
reigning
kind of
on you, but
institutionalize it and say,
Yeah,
we think this
that's
is significant enough that we want to do it this way.
That's a great
But in
often-
reality, in Pennsylvania, it literally takes 2 meetings to change your bylaws. You have to present it, you have to lay it over, and you have to vote on it. Of course, then it has to go to the Grand Lodge for approval. But again, if you keep people in the loop along the way, it's not that difficult.
Right. I went to war with a couple of the people in my lodge who were in charge of the money at the time, and I said, no, it ought to be done this way, and they said, no, we're doing it this way, and I said, but that's not what the bylaws say,
Right.
and they said, I don't care what the bylaws say. This is how we do it. So I said, excuse me, I think I swore an oath to uphold those bylaws.
That is correct.
You lose.
Sometimes our governing, I hate to refer to them as governing groups, but I'll just say it.
Boards
Sometimes
or
our
whatever.
trustees and hall associations forget what limited authority they really have. Trustees can only do what the lodge authorizes them to do.
Right.
Hall associations can only do what lodges authorize them to do. I'll tell another real life story of recent. The bequest that I referred to earlier, we announced that it was coming. We didn't know the amount. And when I met with the folks on the finance committee, one of our trustees said, well, our trustees have decided that we're going to do this. And our hall association said, well, we've decided we're going to do this. And so in a stern and imperious manner,
Au contraire. my friend.
yeah, exactly. We had to remind them that I think what you said was you're going to recommend that we do that. Oh yeah. That's what we really meant. I thought so. Okay, all right. And so we did what they wanted anyway. But just as a reminder, a little Masonic education. Your trustees and your hall associations, temple associations, act only within the limited authority granted by the lodge.
Right. So anyway, all right, cool.
All right.
Meaningful stuff.
Good talk.
Good talk. Why don't we take a quick break?
All right.
And we'll come back, maybe hit Walter, and
Okay.
we can talk about whatever it is that Walter brings up.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we'll goose the chickens.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Masonic news today, the Chief of Police of Lancaster City has announced that they will be shutting down the famous Mounted Patrol Unit. Thousands of Santa Stumble guests have been seen roaming aimlessly through the city of Lancaster, looking for a charity for its proceeds. Have fun, do good, screw them. That's the Masonic news. So moted one.
Wow.
Boo. So,
Yes.
what that's about is and most of you know, our beloved past Pete raised a
Bucket load.
sugar ton of money for the Lancaster
Mounted
City
Patrol.
Mounted Patrol Unit and the K9 unit. I think they both got some money.
A few $100,000.
Several $100,000 through the money raised at the Santa Stumble. And the chief of police has decided, no, we don't need mounted police, which are a landmark now in the city and a tourist attraction. We should put those officers in patrol cars and let them just patrol. Great idea. Well done.
Not.
Yeah. So, anyway.
So it's a great opportunity to kind of talk about the Santa Stumble because my understanding is that for a few years, I think there have been some hints that maybe this might come someday, and they weren't necessarily getting the kind of support that they felt they needed. So I think the committee working on that is looking for those other charitable organizations that might be supported.
Yeah.
So above all this year, because what the story will be, there was a lot of press around the Santa Stumble.
Yeah.
And the press will be the Mounted Patrol is no longer going to exist, and people might be inclined to not participate.
Well, we want them to participate. Let's make no
totally
mistake.
want
them to participate, and we want that money to go to a proper
and that
appropriate
committee
charity.
will make that decision, and they will do that in the appropriate way.
And we believe in them. We know them.
Absolutely.
We know many of them anyway.
Absolutely.
And we believe in them, and we trust them, and we know that they will make a good decision. We're just really upset that this mounted unit's going away.
Shame on the city of Lancaster.
Because they were great. And it was
shame on the city of
My
Lancaster.
understanding is that unit was privately funded.
Right.
So the only part of it that the police were paying for was the guy sitting on the horse.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to pay for him regardless.
Right.
So I don't understand the logic of it. I think it was a cool thing that how many like selfies were taken with little kids and the horse, and the cop up on the horse. It was great. But no.
That's an old John Belushi skit off of Saturday Night.
But no. Yeah, I'm that old.
One time he did come back and go, but no.
Rosanna, damn it.
Yeah.
So, where else are we going with this?
Did we clear the topic list?
We did. We cleared my list, and I think we're coming.
Larry, what do you want to talk about, buddy?
Yeah.
We need to think about what we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks. Because I'm going to go on a tirade, just so you know.
A tirade.
Before or after we stop recording?
Yes.
No. During.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Oh, like this episode, we're going to...
Yeah.
Larry's tirade?
What are we doing in the next 2 weeks till we meet again?
Oh, you're wanting to start the process of shutting down here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, because I was going to quickly go over our upcoming cast of characters.
Okay,
coming
do
in,
that. Do that.
So we're very fortunate that on our next episode, we're going to have a trio. And Larry's very happy with the third member of this.
Oh, gosh,
body.
yes.
Brother Dave Hostler, Tyler Watkins, and the one he's most glad to see is Heather Calloway.
Oh, gosh, she's wonderful.
Heather, if you're listening, Josh, you might have to cut that out.
Larry's crushing on you, man.
Yeah, he's crushing on you. Hey, Heather, Larry's got your book here in the studio.
Yes.
So
I don't see no book.
It's only taken 3.5 years, but when you come in later this month to record the next
that
episode.
book.
Yes,
The Red Serpent.
That's
why that book is
there.
there.
That's why that's
Okay,
There
I get
you go.
it
The
now.
light just came on.
Ding, 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 ding.
There we
All
go.
right, I got it.
And then
It really is here, Heather.
it really is. Yeah. Jack has seen it. Our first episode in November will be Brother P.J. Roop, Right Worshipful Junior Grand Warden. And actually, we need to talk about that episode because there might be, but I doubt it, will be a change of venue maybe. We can talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
And then coming down the future, we know that one of our December episodes will be at the Valley of Reading at the Holiday Happenings.
Why, yes.
We'll be doing a remote there. And it will
Should we crash the annual grand?
I think we might have to. Oh, you know what? We were going to talk about the annual grand.
We were going to, that's one of those.
So before we start around the horn, we should talk about that.
Okay.
But episode 167 is coming up very quickly.
Oh.
And episode
That's a special
100,
episode.
that is a special episode.
Why is it a special episode, Josh?
Josh, why is that one special?
That will be Timmy and I's 100th episode.
Is that right? Really?
Yeah, 100.
Whoa, jeez.
Yeah.
Make you feel
Been
old?
here that long.
Can you believe that?
I've been here longer than not.
Right. That's true, both of them.
Where is that not guy?
Yeah.
Hey, not.
So anyway, we've got some fun episodes coming up. And as always, if you have an interesting topic or an interesting person you'd like to have us bring on the podcast, please send us their names. Masonic Light podcast at gmail.com. Was that right? Yes.
Yeah,
Masonic
I believe
Light
it is.
podcast at gmail.com.
Getting back to Josh,
Yes.
it took him 82, 85 episodes to be able to start talking to us.
No. Josh
Au
lobs a
contraire.
grenade into the
Now
room every
and
now and
then.
He throws a grenade in every now and then.
every now and then. But
Clear the room.
as we progress, he's more and more involved. And I think it's great because he's got a good radio voice. He's smart.
He has a
and
face for
intelligent.
radio. That's
Yeah,
true.
he does.
Yeah, we all do. We all do.
No, I don't.
You know, these guestless episodes, Josh is the one that always promotes them. And I have to admit, they are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They are a lot of fun. You the listener, will decide when we see the numbers.
Ultimately.
Whether or not you like it or not.
I don't.
But
One of the things that doesn't come across, maybe the audience does recognize it, is that when we get together, we have a great time. We like being with each other, and I hope it comes across in our show, and I think it does.
Except for that Larry guy.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass, I know.
guy,
But
honestly.
other than that, no, but seriously, we do.
you said something several episodes ago. I don't know, it might have been 10 or 15. I mean, we really are friends outside of the podcast.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And
And we get together.
we
I
have a
mean,
blast.
Yeah.
Anytime we're together, we're cutting on each other and having a good time.
Yep.
And Larry is Larry, and Tim is Tim, and Jack is Jack, and Josh is Josh. So,
So, annual grand.
annual grant.
Annual grand. That was one of the things on
Yes.
the list of topics. So I wanted to just
the misunderstandings, the
Wow.
misunderstandings, the
and
just
I'm
made
finding-
up crap,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah. So in December, on December 27th of this year, at the Marriott Hotel in downtown Lancaster,
AL 6023.
that the new Right Worshipful Grandmaster Larry Durr will be installed as Grandmaster.
Yes, he will. That is a fact.
He they've got the whole hotel reserved, so there are rooms available, but you have to call you cannot call the hotel. You have to call Grand Lodge and contact the Grand Secretary's office to request a room in the hotel. And obviously, there's a limited number of those. So if you hear this, it may already be filled up, but don't call the hotel because they will book the room for you if they will have
At
one available
$3,000 a
at
night.
like $480 a night
Right.
for that room. The Grand Lodge has a deal where they have the whole hotel
flat
booked up,
rate.
and it's a flat rate, and it's a much better number. I'm not going to say what the number is, but it's a much better number than that. So contact the Grand Lodge about booking a room for the annual grant. Now, the ceremony itself, there's multiple parts to this. It's a sort of a moving target on the 27th.
It starts out with a business meeting
At what time?
from 8 to 10.
I think so. I think
Okay.
it's
8 to 10. Check the Grand Lodge website.
Yeah, the meeting we think begins the actual closed
Business
Grand
meeting.
Lodge business meeting, the
Yes.
closed part of the meeting, happens, and they do all of that Grand Lodging stuff that
Yeah.
they do. And then at 10 o'clock will be the open installation of the Grand Line and the Grand Master.
Right.
And that's like it sounds. It's an open ceremony. Anybody can attend. There's a limited number of people that will fit in the space, obviously, but they are live streaming that. If you look at again pagrandlodge.org, you can find that live stream, I'm sure, there. And then after the open installation, there's a brief receiving period that will happen. And then there's going to be a small group of people.
This is a tradition.
What it is that the Grand Master's first appearance anywhere as Grand Master should be at his home lodge. So what they're doing is Ashera Cassifia Lodge, which is Larry Durr's home lodge, is holding a special meeting at the old Lodge 43 in downtown Lancaster City, directly diagonal across the monument at King Street, right
From the Marriott.
right across from the Marriott.
Right.
But that is a limited attendance event. There's only 300 people going to get in that, and they're going to have a token that they're going to be given. So if you don't have that token, you're not going to get into that meeting.
And if you're not a Grand Lodge officer or someone significantly connected to them,
installed officers in the line in the area,
or a member of a Sherika Scythia,
right? Yeah, there's
the likelihood of you getting in there isn't good.
So there's some people advertising that this event is happening, and that's lovely, but you're probably not going to be able to get into it.
Correct.
So unless you're invited to it, or a member of a Sherika Scythia, probably don't worry about that one. What you're going to do then is hang around in Lancaster, visit Annie Bailey's right up the street,
there's
or
a
whatever.
Cigar shop too. Really
there's
close.
a lovely cigar shop right down
is.
the street. And there'll be plenty of people, and you'll see Masons all over Lancaster City at that point, but nothing then is going to happen until about 4:00.
Yeah,
when the reception of the Grand Master happens at the Marriott, and that's going to be, I believe, a cash bar scenario, and that's going to go from 4 to 5:30, and then at 5:30 the banquet happens. The banquet is a ticketed event. If you got no ticket, you get no banquet. I know that because I'll be the guy at the door collecting the tickets. So you better have your bloody ticket.
Hey, if I'm a Patreon supporter of Masonic Light Podcast,
you will be
in?
thanked heartily as you come through the door with your ticket.
Or if not,
it gets you nothing.
Yeah. Jack will sign your...
I'll sign your ticket.
There you go.
And then keep it. But the tickets are $125 per person. There are 10 seats at a table. So a table is $12.50. Most of the lodges...
Did you figure that out?
Yeah, that was math. I had
Okay.
It was a zero thing.
Okay.
So most of the lodges in the immediate area have been sold tables for their own lodge so that they can be at this event. So if you want to go and your lodge is not yet talking about having tickets available, contact your lodge secretary first. If your lodge secretary can't get you a ticket, then contact your district deputy. If your district deputy can't get you a ticket, then contact me.
At
jharley4 at PTD. That's Peter Thomas David.
Penteladata.
Penteladata is correct. .com. Okay, that's JHARLEY, the numeral 4 at PTD.net. Sorry, I said com before. It's .net. PTD.net. I will tell you to mail me a check, and then I will mail you tickets. It's archaic.
Yep.
And I promise that the next Grandmaster will have a different ticketing system, but this is how it's going this time. There are physical tickets. And Grand Lodge has like a whole bunch of tickets that they're providing to invited guests.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of lodges around here for like 6 districts, 8 districts around us. We're given a supply of tickets. And then I am responsible for the overflow tickets or the individual ticketing and that kind of stuff. So
it'll be a really big
if you send
show.
your money by a Pony Express, I'm sure to get there a lot quicker than what you're talking about.
if you send cash, I won't take it.
Actually,
Pony
don't do
Express.
cash.
Don't
Do you
send
happen to know
cash.
who
It
the
has to be a check.
Who the entertainment is for the evening?
Yes, the entertainment is a group called Artrageous.
Okay.
And what they do, if you've ever seen these people that are on stage and there's music and they're dancing and flopping around and they're occasionally throwing paint at something.
The
And
Blue
then
Man
at the
Group.
end, sort of. And then at the end of the night, you turn the painting over and it's oh, I can't believe it's that thing. That's sort of what they're doing, but they're doing a little bit more than that. And I believe that they're working on having an event the day before for kids in the city to come in and just to be able to watch it because it's very cool. It's an entertaining process. Artrageous is the name of the group, so you can look them up online. But really, it's just a night, play and dress up, eating a nice meal. Bring your lady. It is an open ceremony. Populate downtown Lancaster between the events.
It'll be a lot of fun.
But that's the agenda, more or less. For those of you Masons in the central Pennsylvania area, you're not going to get a lot of opportunities to attend an event like this. And Larry's been just a super guy, and we really respect what he's done in the area. And just come out, offer your support, come out to the party. It's going to be a riot. So that's it. That's the annual grant for 2023. That's my promo.
One further piece of information.
Sir.
The Grand Master has authorized lodges that they may use general funds to purchase tables at this event.
That is true.
So and I can't believe that information hasn't gotten out, but just the other day, I was talking to someone who did not know that. So if you're listening to this, go to your worshipful master and say, hey, what's up?
True story.
Okay. There's one thing that we still need to do.
What's that, Tim?
It's a game show event.
Are we going to play Copious Dues? Hey! Oh, he'll overlay it. We'll fix that in post.
Yeah.
Tonight we're playing our game with our very own Tim Deadman. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thanks,
Great
Jack.
to have you. We're using you tonight because we couldn't get a bloody guest. So, Tim, you know how this game is played. You kind of made it up. We're going to guess how much we think you pay every year in dues. And we know that number is copious.
Yes, it is.
And whoever gets closest to your number without going over will win their name on the board until it gets erased.
Right.
Yay! So, Tim,
all right,
you're going to write down on this pad how much you pay in dues every year. Now, this is just dues. This doesn't include banquets and meals and things that you have to pay for because you're a member of the lodge or any assessments or any of that. Just dues. How much does it say on your dues card? And we know that Tim has been compiling this number for weeks.
I actually did go through because
I know
when we
you
started
did.
this game.
Oh my God!
And we said if we don't have a guest, we're going to use one of us as the.
Did we say that? I
Yeah,
don't
we did.
remember saying that.
So I have my final
All
answer.
right. Final answer. All right, Josh. What do you think Tim pays every year in dues?
$1,163.
Josh, $1,163. Larry, what do you think Tim pays in dues?
$985.
You guys have bracketed my number, so I'm going to say $1,000. Wait, I used the wrong voice. Tim, tell us, how much do you pay in dues?
So Josh selected 1,163. Larry said 985. And Jack, you said 1,000.
Yes.
See, Josh, you should have gone with your usual answer of $1. Because what I pay in annual dues is $975.
So we were all over.
Everybody was over. Larry was the closest, however.
Wow.
So if we want to go to a tiebreaker,
I was going to say 963.
there you go. See, you should have won. That includes Lodge 302 for 125, Scottish Rite 117, Shrine for 125. Although, you know what? For next year, actually, you wouldn't have gone over if we had played this game in January because Shrine dues are going up. Royal Arch Chapter 40, Council 40, Commandery 61, AMD 200, Grotto 111, Sojourners 31, York Wright College 40, Operative 75, and Aaron Council 10. Totaling
where's the
975.
Where's the tiebreaker?
No, I was saying if we go to, since all of you went over, if we then just go to the closest one, you win.
All right, I'll take you as a win.
Okay.
But we don't. No, we don't do that. No, that's not
Put
always.
my
Larry,
name up there again.
Larry, take a win when
Larry
you get
is
it, buddy.
a cheater. Larry's cheating. Larry.
Put my name up there.
Larry's cheating.
All right.
I'll put your name up there, but you're cheating.
985.
All right. So, what do we got coming up in the next couple of weeks before we cut these chickens loose? And here they're happening.
Who do you want to start with?
Josh, let's start with you.
Oh, well, I think, well, the thing that I was going to mention is has already happened a few days ago.
Okay.
So never mind.
Okay.
Not much, just podcast. I guess Grotto will be coming up on the 22nd.
Yes, it will.
So,
You better be there.
Yeah, I should be there. No. I think that's it.
Okay. Larry.
You knew this was coming, Larry.
I was expecting Tim to do his, and that would have taken 10 minutes. I could have cleared my throat. Goes in Gridiron tomorrow, Thursday.
I knew it was somehow Tim's fault.
Yeah, first time I've been back in 3 weeks. But the Tall Cedars Convention in Ocean City, Maryland, it will begin on Thursday the 19th and go through Sunday the 22nd.
That's your third favorite Masonic event
Oh, that is...
after Lodge in the Woods.
We get down there Thursday. Friday is convention day. Tux, jewels, hat, mandatory. Okay, first. Second, you all know I hate convention. I hate conventions.
How do you feel about conventions?
Hate them.
Tell us how you really feel, Larry.
Hate them. And I've got to go to this thing because I am Grand Tall, of course. I went last year. Oh, my God. It was normally our conventions last about 4, maybe 5 hours.
Where is it happening?
Ocean City, Maryland.
Ocean City, Maryland.
Maryland, yeah.
Ah,
yeah, it's a nice place.
They have bars there.
Good hotel. It's not bad. But the fact that we have to wear tuxes, I have to lug all this stuff down there. I mean,
Didn't it used to be at Cape May or something?
used to be at Ocean City, Maryland, New Jersey, I think, somewhere around that area.
Somewhere down there, yeah.
For years. But
Yeah.
the hotels got seedy and they stopped going there, so they
Too
switched
many
to
needles on the
Maryland.
beach.
Yeah. But that's my plan. So I'll be down there for 4 days, and I'm going to reiterate again. I hate conventions.
Are you stag or are you taking
Carol is going along. Yes, she is. Yeah.
Outstanding.
She's gonna
And
be
is she
great
happy
for
about
And
going
more-
with you?
cabinet.
She's happy about going down there. I don't want to go. And Brother Chaplain, Supreme Chaplain Ken Hudson's driving down with us, so that'd be interesting.
Wait, which one of you is driving?
Oh, yeah.
I'm driving.
Thank
I'm
goodness.
driving. Yes.
Can you let us know when you're driving?
Yeah. You give us a heads up about 30 minutes before you head out.
I know some troopers down there that way.
Anyway, that's what's happening in my world.
Jack.
Outstanding. What do I have going on? Tomorrow night, I will be conferring a 3rd degree in my home lodge of Epharda and delivering the charge. I love delivering the 3rd degree charge. I think that's one of the most important pieces of ritual in Pennsylvania Masonry.
It is so
I
all-encompassing.
mean, it just ties it all up with a string and
and
says, you're going to do this, you're not going to do that. Yeah. So I'm doing that, and then I've got some committee meetings with the committee, especially the annual grand committee, and just general working. I got Grotto coming up. I've got AMD coming up. We just had operatives. That was fun. Oh, I didn't mention that on the.
I didn't either.
Yeah,
We were both at operatives.
it's a very secret organization.
Yeah.
Actually, operatives is cool because I think that it's open to all master masons, right? There's no York Rite requirement or anything. So if you're curious about operatives, just drop us a note. We'll tell you.
Ask.
Yeah, ask and it shall. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it. Just general stuff. Just keep it on, keep it on.
All right. So I'm actually going to be very limited in the number of activities that I talk about. I will hit a remark, however, that
You've been quoting a lot of dialogue tonight.
I'm participating in a project with the Grand Lodge, and I don't want to go into too much of it because it's going to be talked about a lot at that quarterly or the annual meeting in December. But in the year 2026, which is 3 years out, we will be celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and the founding of the United States of America.
Huzzah.
And the Grand Lodge of Pennsylvania is developing a very special build-up and program for that year.
Cool.
You will learn more about it at the December annual meeting. So please tune in and find out more. But a lot of my time over the next several weeks and kind of going on into the future up until then will be spent on that project. I'm understanding there are questions.
Well, I'd comment more than anything.
Okay.
When I was putting together our 100th anniversary book, I charted how many new members there were each year under each new Worshipful Master, and there was a significant bump at 1976, and the year after there was definitely a peak of interest in Freemasonry because of the relationship to the bicentennial.
Fascinating.
So it'd be interesting to see if we have anything like that in 3 years. That'll be cool.
Cool. Larry, did you have a question?
No.
Okay, I thought you looked like you wanted to ask something.
No, it was a spasm.
It was a spasm. Okay, go back to sleep. All right. This episode will be coming out on Monday the 16th.
Ish.
If you are a member of the Lancaster Lodge of Perfection, get your carcass to the reunion on Tuesday the 17th. I'm challenging you to make sure that the combined number of the Big Valley of Harrisburg and the Valley of Reading do not outnumber you.
Is there a reason for this challenge?
Trying to promote those of you who are in the Valley of Lancaster to show up to your reunion.
Oh.
Okay? My understanding is they are going to do some special things that have not been done before. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
That's not how we did it my year.
Exactly. So, suffice it to say, come on the 17th.
Do it.
The next night, on the 18th, Eureka West Shore Lodge number 302 past masters will be having their meeting where we will be excited to hear from our next year's Worshipful Master about his wonderful programs, et cetera, that he wants to talk about.
Gosh, that sounded sincere, didn't it?
Doesn't it? No, seriously. I'm telling you what, when our past masters get together, we have a good time. We really do. And I remember the year before I became master, I went to that meeting sweating bullets. And I walked out of there going, oh my gosh, these guys really do want to help me. Because I never really sensed that before I got there. Not sure why. But anyway, we really do have a good time. So I'm looking forward to that. And then on the 22nd of October, there are, 3 events. The aforementioned Ubar Grotto that I will not be at.
Oh, there's
However, earlier in the day,
Demolay event.
there
right?
is the Demolay Legion of Honor
I
ceremony
left that one off. I will be there.
that you will be at.
Yes.
And our good buddy Pete will be honored posthumously there.
Oh, has that been decided?
That's my understanding.
Good.
So
When is that again?
that is on Sunday the 22nd.
That's an open ceremony.
An
by
open
the way.
ceremony at like 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So come over to the village. I think it's upstairs in the Tricolor Lodge room. And so anyway, do that. And then that evening, the Big Valley of Harrisburg is hosting a murder mystery dinner. So that is why I will not be at Ubar Grotto. When they were talking about the date, I raised that, and the response was,
Don't. Just don't.
Okay, we
Just
won't.
don't.
All right. Anyway, so go to valleyofharrisburg.org if you'd like to come to the murder mystery dinner. It'll be a lot of fun. It is Murder at the Malt Shop. It is a 50s theme, so grab your T-shirts and leather jackets and Brill cream and
Brill cream.
Whatever. A little dab will do you.
Are you the soda jerk, Tim?
Yeah, I'm the soda jerk. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Can we go home now?
Let's do it. Josh,
do it.
open the gates.
Larry's. Give it to us, Larry.
It's been a long night.
Heck yeah.
Special thanks to Effort Lodge 665
Yay.
for hosting us in this beautiful studio. A special thanks to our producer-director, Josh Lamberton. And our news director, I was waiting for that.
Millard.
Lamberton Killer, I was waiting for. And special thanks also to our news director, Jack.
What's his
Harley,
name?
Jack Harley. Tim Deadman, our marketing director.
Tim the Deadman.
And to Michelle Snyder, Austin Schifrin, Douglas Maidenford, for all our special contributions to making the show really good. And Douglas, I know you listen to this show. Your last episode of Dutchy Doug and the Farm, it was fantastic. And thank you for the hard work that you do. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well, I think I've said enough, but I will say
I'd love to hear from Michelle.
I do. Yeah, I hear from her on Facebook. And
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. I'd love to hear a segment
I
in
miss
the
her.
show.
I
Yeah.
do miss her. I have to get in touch with her. But anyway, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Geez, well, I think I just better end it.
Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Wherever you are. Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening. This is Larry Merris. And remember, have fun, do good.
Well said.
Have fun? Did I get that backwards?
No, you got it right, Larry.
Okay. All right.
That was
Hi, everybody.
beautiful. I can't even, see you.
Well done, Larry.